Okay, so this is discussion of the optional review for the Pythagorean theorem portion of the geometry assessment. So this will be part 1. And this, of course, is optional. You don't have to do it. But if it helps you to be ready for the portion that is the assessment, that's great. And if you want to just watch and kind of remind yourself, that's perfect too. All right, so first we're deciding if the given triangle is a right triangle. Now, we don't know that this is a right angle, but we do know that this is the longest side, so we're going to check, does 6 squared plus 8 squared equal 9 squared? Okay, so 6 squared is 36, 8 squared is 64, and 9 squared is 81. So 100 does not equal 81, so no, this is not a right triangle. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with these 3 numbers. This time they're not in triangle form, but so we're going to check is 2.1 squared plus 7.2 squared. Does that equal 7.5 squared? And I'm going to grab my calculator to do the squaring of these things. So 2.1 squared is 4.41. 7.2 squared is 51.84. There we go. And 7.5 squared is 56.25. And now we're just going to see if 4.41 and 51.84 adds to 56.25. And since it does, whoops, sorry about that. Since those are equal, this is a right triangle because the Pythagorean theorem works. That would make it a right triangle automatically. All right, so this next problem here, we notice that when we have this, the side across from the right angle is the hypotenuse, so this would be the hypotenuse. So that's the long side, or that's your C. Okay, so you're just going to check, you're going to do 3 squared plus 7 squared, and we're going to say that equals C squared. Now, it doesn't say you have to round the answers, so it's fine to just leave them as a square root on all of these. So we have 3 squared is 9, 3 times 3 is 9, 7 times 7 is 49, that equals C squared. Excuse me. 9 plus 49 is 58. So C is the square root of 58. And there you go. Like that. And because there weren't any units, we can just leave it as that. All right, next problem. Okay, now this time, we do have the number across from the right angle. So this is the hypotenuse, so that is C. Okay? So what I like to do is just immediately, I will just subtract. I just do 21 squared minus 8 squared equals A squared or B squared or X squared in this case. You could have kind of done it the other way and done A squared plus that 8 equals 21 squared like that. That would be fine as well. I just subtract right away myself. Okay, and 21 squared is 441. And 8 squared is 64. So now I'm going to do 441 minus 64. And I get 377. So I have 377 equals A squared. So the square root of 377 will equal A. And I'm just going to leave it like that again. So that would be my solution. Okay, now this third one, or this next one, I guess. We again have the hypotenuse, because we have the number across from the right angle. Okay, so I'll do this one kind of the opposite way of it, the way I did this one. So I'll go ahead and do 6 squared plus, in this case, X squared equals 10 squared. Kind of set it up that way. 6 squared is 36. And 10 squared is 100. Okay, now then I'll subtract the 2 sides, the 36 from both sides. And in this case, I get X squared equals 64, because 100 minus 36 is 64. So in this case, X is the square root of 64. But since we know the square root of 64 is 8, let's go ahead and write it as 8. Okay? All right, now in this next one here, we just have 2 triangles. So really we're going to do the Pythagorean theorem twice. So I'm kind of going to just show the 2 triangles as 2 separate pieces here. So let's do like this triangle here. we'll do the 5, 9, and x like that. Okay, so what we have here is 5 squared plus 9 squared equals x squared. 5 squared is 25, 9 squared is 81. Okay, and 25 plus 81 will be 106. Okay, so the square root of 106 is x. Okay. And then we'll just do the same thing basically over again, but with the y. So on this side, and hopefully that's clearly a different color, yep. Okay, so on this side here, we'll just do 5 squared plus 3 squared equals y squared. Okay. And 5 squared is 25, 3 squared is 9. And that'll be y squared. 25 and 9 is 34. Oops, sorry, equals y squared. Okay, so 25 plus 9 is that 34, and so the square root of 34 is y. Okay, so there's another example for you. Okay, now we'll do the other side here. Okay, now these are just word problems, and so they're kind of going to be similar to what you did on the second part. Okay, so this says 2 trains travel, leave Metropolis at the same time, and one travels south at 50 miles an hour and the other east at 40 miles an hour. How far apart are they at the end of 3 hours? So if we have something traveling south at 50 miles an hour at the end of 3 hours, we're going to have that at 150 miles. So the southern direction here is 150. Okay. And then this says 40 miles per hour going east. So now if we multiply that by 3, it would have gone 120 miles. Okay, so east, this is 120. Oops, that kind of looks a little bit longer. And then we would draw that for the third side. So we're asking basically what is that? Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to do 150 squared plus 120 squared equals c squared. And then we're going to grab the calculator because 150 squared is a little easier to do on the calculator. 150 squared. Okay, so 22,500. And then 120 squared, which is 14,400. And that's c squared. And when we add those up, 14,400 plus 22,500, we get 36,900. And then we'll take the square root of that, and we're going to say they're around 192 miles apart. Didn't actually tell us right around, so I just rounded to the nearest whole number. Since it was 100, the answer was like 192.09. All right, so this one we have a garden that is 25 feet in diagonal and 24 feet across. So this is going to be one where we're going to subtract, or we already have the hypotenuse, so I'm going to do 25 squared minus 24 squared equals, and this has an n, so I'm just going to use n squared. Okay, 25 squared is 625. 24 squared is 576. Okay, and if we do 625 minus 576, we get 49. Okay, and when we take the square root of that 49, we get, so n is 7, and in this case, feet. And that one we won't have to round because it's exactly 7. Okay, this next problem here, okay, it's got a wire attached to 8-foot pole from the base of the pole, bracket 5 foot from the base of the pole. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this. So I have an 8-foot pole, and then I have a bracket that's 5 feet over, okay? And then I'm going to draw kind of a right triangle there, okay? And the question is, how long is this wire here? So we're going to call that C, because it's a right triangle. So 8 squared plus 5 squared equals C squared. Okay, so in this case, this is 64 and 25. Okay, and that's going to be 89. So it's square root of 89. And so since it does say how long, let's go ahead and round that. And I get like 9.43, So I'm going to say it's around 9.4 feet. Okay. But But of course I put that on the calculator when I did that. All right. So now these, one more problem there. We had number 10. So newly planted tree staked with 3 wires. Each wire is attached to the trunk 3 feet above the ground, and anchored the ground 4 feet from the base. And how much is needed for 6? Now, first of all, so there's 3 wires and there's 6 trees. So whatever we do at the end, we're going to have to multiply it by that 3 and 6. But let's just figure out 1 wire. So 1 wire would be, so it's attached to the trunk of the tree 3 feet above the ground, so that's a 3 foot, and anchored 4 feet. And 3 squared plus 4 squared is going to equal that other side. So 9 and 16, and that's 25. So the square root of 25 is C, so C is 5. But we have 3 of each of those, so we need 5 feet. So 5 feet, and we need 3 of them, and we needed those for 6 trees. So we would do 5 times 3 times 6. So it's going to be 90 feet total. And that is our answer to that one. Okay, so a few more problems just to practice, and then you can kind of use these as you want. You can use them to help you on the actual online assessment, or whatever you want to do. All right, so this, I'm just going to draw a triangle here, and then I'm going to count 1, 2, 3 on this side, and 1, 2, 3, 4 on that side. So I'll do 3 squared plus 4 squared. And you'll notice it's kind of the exact same one as up here. So 9 and 16, you have 25. In this case, square root of 25. So, whoops, sorry. And the final answer is 5. And since there aren't specific units, we'll just leave it like that. Okay, and then we'll do the next one here. So I'm going to go up above this time. So up here and over here, and then that's my hypotenuse there. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on that side. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this side. Alright, so I'm going to do 8 squared plus 6 squared equals C squared. 8 squared, of course, is 64. 6 squared is 36. So here is 100. And again, this one's a perfect square, so my answer is exactly 10, and I would actually round that because it is a perfect square, so you can't leave that one as a square root. Okay, last 2, and then kind of hopefully this helped if you needed some additional practice. All right, so let's just go ahead and make the triangle here. How about this one? So here's our triangle. They're going to go up here and over here. Okay, and there's our diagonal there. Okay, so then you're going to count. This one's 2. And over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this one's 8. So you would do 8 squared plus 2 squared. Okay, and 8 squared is 64. And 2 squared is 4. Oh, there's my cat. All right, it's okay. It's fine. Okay, 64 plus 4 is 68. And so you take the square root of 68, and that would be the answer because it didn't tell you needed to round. Okay, and last problem, and then hopefully this, like I said, helped you if you needed to review for this portion of the assessment. So I am going to go down here. Oops, only goes that far, sorry. Get that section. Okay, and then here is my triangle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. Okay, so that side is 7. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that side seems to be 5. Okay, and so I'm going to do 5 squared plus 7 squared equals C squared in this case. Okay, so 25 and 49. Okay, and 25 plus 49 is 74. So we'll move it over here since I've kind of run out of room. Okay, so 74 is C squared. So we'd have the square root of 74 as our final answer for that one. All right, I hope this helped, and have a fabulous rest of your day.